English speaking friends, I salute you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. And so for my third and final message on the power of prayer for the Church of Jesus Christ, we will go back to Acts chapter 12, verses 1 to verses 5. And this is what we read. It was about this time that King Herod arrested some who belonged to the church, intending to persecute them. He had James, the brother of John, put to death with a sword. And when he saw that this met with approval among the Jews, he proceeded to seize Peter also. This happened during the festival of unleavened bread. After arresting him, he put him in prison, handing him over to be guarded by 4 squad of 4 soldiers each. That's a lot of them. Herod intended to bring him out for public trial after the Passover. So Peter was kept in prison, but the church was earnestly praying to God for him. Now, let us leave the disciple and their prayer meeting, if you don't mind. And let our imagination guide us through the street of Jerusalem until we arrive to the gate of the prison where the Apostle Peter is located. They look super solid, those doors. And in addition, they are well guarded. There are soldiers everywhere, even in the cell where the apostle is. And I understand that there are even some who have attached themselves to him. Well, what do you want? For them and for us? It is a matter of life or death. You lose an important prisoner, you are passed by the sword. So it's better to be very careful. Oh yes, especially with this one. You know, he does magic tricks. And it is even said that his master rose from a crucifixion. A crucifixion? Well, that's something. So, well, understand us. We don't want him to disappear. Poor Peter, the sentence has fallen. Tomorrow he will have to die. What a joy for all his enemies, what a triumph, what a blow to the young church of the Master Jesus. No wonder then that when we enter this cold, stinky and unwelcoming cell, we will find him frightened, discouraged, like are all those condemned to death. His moral will be very low. But look, no, I'm not dreaming. He is there, lying down, sandal removed, belt loosed. My word, he is asleep. He sleeps the sleep of the just. Well, of course. What else do you want him to do? Remember, my friend, in the Garden of Gethsemane he slept because his flesh was weak. But there in this prison he sleeps because his faith is strong. Death knocks on his door. The forces of evil encircle him. The storm of anguish rages around him. Doubt rumbles like storm. And he, Peter, he sleeps. He sleeps as his master slept in this famous boat when with the other disciple on the lake of Tiberias and under the storm, all were crying out, "Help, help, help!" But why? Because Peter knows that the master he serves can do anything and that his destiny is in his hands. So you see, my friend, many can fight the good fight of faith, but few can sleep the good sleep of faith. So go on, Peter. You will need it because tomorrow God will make his glory shine through your life. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, a strange light shone in this sad and dark cell. Oh, could this finally be the moment of my end? Thought Peter, awakened by this flashlight. Peter, Peter, get up promptly, said a voice. And Peter saw an angel, and as he got up, he felt as in a caress his chains quickly slide along his arms, body, and ankles to collapse on the ground in a silent crash. Obeying the voice of the angel, Peter stood up, got dressed, and followed him, leaving the sleeping jailers. They passed the drowsy guards, the sleepy soldier, the heavy-eyed sentinel, the sentries, all asleep while in front of him first the door of his cell opened without a sound, and then the door of the corridor of those condemned to death, then the door of the floor supervisor, then the large door of the main courtyard, and finally the huge door at the entrance to the prison, so well locked, so well guarded, so well protected, so well looked after, and yet so well neglected. He's there now outside, in the middle of the high street, so popular on the day and so deserted at night, illuminated only by a blatant moon that gives a glimpse of grotesque and unwelcoming shadows on the wall of the prison from which he came out free. His work accomplished, the angel of the Lord disappeared, allowing Peter to come to his senses and to thank God. Then Peter ran to the house of Mary, John's mother, this house that he thought never to see again, to see his friend whom he thought never to see again except in heaven later. But when he arrived at the door of the house, strangely enough, he found that it was closed. The door of his cell had opened, the door of the convict had opened, the door of the corridors of the prison had also opened, the heavy gates on the courtyard were open, so was the huge door of the entrance of the prison. All these doors had opened before him. But there, where his friend prayed for him, pray for this door to open, their door was closed. In their confusion, they had forgotten to remove the latch from the door. Often we Christians are like that. Expectation does not go as fast as faith. We trust God, but we forget to consider the answer to our prayer. Many pray that God will deliver, will free them from their sin, but they often leave at the door the one who knocked to deliver them. I stand at the door and knock. For Pierre, the reception is rather cold. The more the fervor of their heart rises to God, and the less they hear Peter knocking on the door. Finally, someone comes, timidly, nervously at first, then surprised to realize that it was Peter. And while she is going to announce the strange, amazing news to others, Rode, the servant, all excited and confused, lets Peter wait in the street beyond this door that she has closed. "It's Peter! At the door!" she screamed. "Oh, nonsense!" said one of the disciples. "You are completely crazy." "But I am sure it's him. I recognize his voice." "I tell you, it can only be a ghost." You see, my friend, it's amazing what Christians prefer to believe rather than to accept a favorable answer to their prayer. Fearfully, carefully, prudently, the disciple approached the door and very quickly realized that it was indeed Peter who, beyond this door, never stopped knocking to be opened. This is what the power of prayer can do. As for King Herod, the Bible describes to us the tragic way in which he died, consumed with worms. Ugh. My friend, do you believe in God? Yes. So why limit the faith we have in him, since there is no limit to the power of his love? You know, the God of the first believers is also our God. And if King Herod's successors are ready to make us doubt, to make us fall, to make us suffer, God too is here to encourage us, to rescue us, to give us the victory. Among us, in our home, in our churches, old sins still circulate. They change not only our body but also our heart, our soul. Sins of pride, resentment, jealousy, vanity, selfishness, dirty character, love of the world. I know many who proclaim the love of God, the deliverance of sin through Jesus Christ, but who are still under the influence of sin. If only their chains could fall. If only the door of their prison could be opened so that freedom could be acquired for them. They will render a powerful and splendid service to the Lord. Isn't it time to pray for them? To pray for you, perhaps? Pray gently, lift me to highest heaven, from earth's confusion to Jesus' grace. My sin and weakness, my doubt and sorrow are lost forever in sweetest rest. In our hall, in our church, in the street, in our home, night and day, alone or in groups, we can pray. And God, I'm sure, will be happy to repeat, to reiterate today, by means of His grace, the miracle He did in the past. Of all the creation, praise the force given to us human. Let us use the power of prayer for the fulfillment of His will and the development of His church, for His glory and the coming of His kingdom. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, thy wings shall my petition bear. To Him whose truth and faithfulness engage the waiting soul to bless. And since He bids me seek His face, believe His word and trust His grace, I cast on Him my every care, and wait for Thee, sweet hour of prayer. God bless you, my friend. And don't forget to use that special power for our church, for your church, the power of prayer. God bless you all. Amen.